opened with a king's gambit, and it was a king's gambit accepted, of course. He played e4. I responded. That's the gambit right away. I captured. He developed his knight. I have to defend that pawn and also prevent the knight from making further development. That knight can be very tricky at that point. And also, I'm threatening to scare that knight away. One thing about the king's gambit, just always have in mind that your king's side will be completely messed up. And guess what? At the long run, your opponent's king's side will be messed up too. All right, let's go straight down. He knew everything coming. He started developing his queen side. I threatened the knight. The knight pulled a very huge stance. And guess what he did? He's actually threatening my pawn. Guess what's going to happen? His queen is threatening the pawn. The knight threatening to take the pawn. And some of you are going to be like, why not push this out here to scare the pawn away? No, it's not done that way. If I should do that, the pawn is going to capture the knight is going to capture the pawn. If my bishop captures, the queen is going to recapture, so it's not going to work. And guess what? I made a very good response. Check. He blocked. I captured. He can't capture, of course. If he captures, I'm going to pick up his rook. FOC, free of charge. He captured his queen, trading the exchange. You know, there are various lines to follow this up. I can decide to do this with a check, and when he captures my queen, I capture his rook with a queen, promoting to a queen. I saw all of that. I know how everything is going to be, but the aftermath of this whole thing is not going to be funny. Trust me, it's not going to be funny. I saw all of that coming, but I decided to play what I know and what I'm confident in. I captured, he captured, I captured the pawn, of course, he captured his rook. I start developing. He advanced his knight, threatening to force my king over here, and my rook. I saw all of that. I have to, the king is also a fighting piece, so of course I have to activate my king. He kept developing very huge threats. I was supposed to capture this, but let's see how it goes. I didn't capture. Guess what I did? If I am to capture this, without making this move, if I bluntly go to capture this, what do I do when this bishop comes here with a check? He will be forcing me to shift out of here, making his knight to continue his very good evil plan against me. So what I did was, I blocked it, came forcing it, because this rook has nowhere to go, so definitely he has nowhere to go, so I have to block the evil plan. He developed his white bishop. I captured the scary knight, because man, two knights facing the king is very scary. Captured his bishop. Those two bishops are pretty active. And mind you, look at my pieces. They are underdeveloped. This is the only developed piece I have. Okay? But let's see how the game turned around. I captured, breakthrough, he castled. Wow, this guy is a very brilliant player, of course. No doubt, I give him the credit. He's a very brilliant player. I have to develop my knight. Man, I'm underdeveloped. What the hell do you think I should do from here? Okay, he decided to exchange the knight because the knight is defending this bishop. He's a very brilliant player, but guess what? I think I'm just pretty smarter. I captured with the check. He captured. I picked the knight off. So after this trade, I gained the pawn. Yeah, that's cool. After the trade, I gained the pawn. So I gained the pawn, I captured. He came down there to expose my king. I saw it, I have to move forward. So, you know, this guy is going to be kicked out shortly. Of course, like I said, I was smart enough to know what to do from there. Check, I shifted. Occupying my rank, okay? Occupying my rank, that's a very good gameplay. He's a very smart player, I give him the credit, he's a very, very smart player. But one thing about chess, a good player always win the game. And a good player is always lucky. That's one chess rules I don't mess around with. And develop my knights, I'm pretty underdeveloped, I have to start doing something. Some of you will be thinking, well, he was supposed to capture this, but because he has bishop pointing this pawn. Yeah, if he does that, man, my knight is coming here to mess his rook and his bishop up, okay? So I don't think that's a good idea, okay? I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, the rook can fall back here to defend it, but there's a whole lot coming after that. So let's just try to stay focused. Okay, he moved forward, threatening the bishop. I wanted him to capture. Mind you, this is not a free pawn. If he eventually captures, look at his rook is hanging, so it's not free. Don't think that move is just because I want to do Black Friday. Went back. I have to develop, of course. Went back. It's a very serious trade. I captured, threatening his rook. You have to pin the attacker. Pinning my knight, that is a very active piece, to my king. I have to take my king off. He threatened my rook and my knight. Of course, this is a very beautiful move because check comes first. You know, whatever you're doing in chess, you have to answer check. He answered. I have to threaten this bishop, giving him the knight just for me to take the bishop. He went down with the check. I saw that. Of course, who on earth would want to shift his king to the direction? No, if you do that, he's going to capture your knight for free. So all I did was capture the bishop. I captured, he captured, getting the temple. I defended the knight and also protected my king from being messed up. That's why in chess you have to be very, very resourceful. He went back because there's a whole lot over there that king was staying. I have to develop, of course. He's busy capturing, but that's not my problem. This knight is doing a whole lot of work. Defending this and this as well. So giving me the edge to develop my other rook. I threatened this bishop. Now, mind you, this bishop is trapped. It has nowhere to go to. Mind you, you can pause the video and check out if this bishop has any legal square to go to. Now, mind you, if you're thinking the bishop can come here, guess what? I'm going to come here with a check, threatening this king, picking the bishop up. Okay, so just forget about that. He threatened my knight because he knew that his bishop is messed up. You know, you have to be very resourceful. Yeah, you have a good move, but one thing about chess, you have to look for a better move, and which I did. I saw a better move threatening his rook. He threatened my rook with his bishop. Check. He's a very good player, though. I must give him the credit. Check. He blocked. Very good player. I captured. He captured. Check. Activating the other rook. Went down. I have to force that exchange. Like, man, what's this? Pointing at this, man. I have to just force the exchange. He declined. Like he declined, rather going for this. Of course, the knight is coming down there, defending and threatening. He threatened my knight, defend the knight. I don't know where that pawn is heading to, but let's see for it. I threatened his rook, shifted. I keep pushing my pawns to block this guy. I don't know what I have in mind. The king advances. I have to advance my pawn, of course. It's no longer a pawn, mind you. It's no longer a pawn. That's a potential queen. You know, there's something I regretted doing. This knight move wasn't necessary. I think instead of making the knight move, I was supposed to go for the exchange. But I still think that's a good move. If I go for the exchange, capture, he's getting something. This pawn is going nowhere. So I think I made a very good decision. I made a very good decision, sorry. So he went down there, I threatened his rook. The rook went down. The knight is trying to pave the way for his pawn to advance. He saw all of that, he went to attack the pawn. I have to defend the pawn, of course. He came, I don't know what he's planning to do there, but let's see it. Okay, I kept on going. I think I'm going for the bishop. He went down the bishop. I have to keep advancing. He captured. Oh my god. I have to move forward to give that pawn an edge. Check. I have to block, of course. He captured. No. The idea is, the question is, why didn't I capture this? Well, if I did capture this bishop and the king recaptures, he doesn't mind sacrificing this rook for this pawn. But this is my major concern. This over here is very, very, very dangerous. It's going to walk down there free of charge. There will be no much challenge. And how do I take this down to this point? So I was thinking about that, and I'm like, okay, let's see about it. I went to threaten the pawn. He went forward. I kept on going, of course. He blocked. Check. He went out. Gave that pawn an edge. Kept on going. He has a whole lot of beautiful pawns. I have to watch for that pawn. That pawn is a very huge threat to me. He went to this king to defend the pawn, of course. I kept on going. Now I'm not having to wait. I'm not having a potential queen. I have two potential queens, okay? I kept on going. I kept going because you have to queen first of all, right? Yeah, you have to. The queen, take the. I don't want to say shitty words over here. Captured my rook. Now the question is, there's only one way this bishop is very, very effective. There's only one way for this bishop to be very, very effective, and the only way is for this bishop to turn to a Spider-Man. Okay? You have to throw your webs on both directions. He threatened. Of course, I have to defend. Check. He went off. Check. He blocked. Now this is what I'm talking about. Unfortunately for him, unfortunately for me, the bishop can't produce a web. Queen, he captured. I captured. Things fall apart. Hold fort, limiting the squares of this king. That was what I did. He captured, free of charge. Now I knew that subsequent time I will gain either of these pieces back. I will gain either of these pieces back. I knew that. I shifted, threatening the bishop. He threatened my queen. He's a very smart player. I must give him the credit. He threatened my queen. Check. He's very smart. Check. 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 All just to make ends meet, okay? Now I decided to threaten. I just wanted the rook to be well positioned so I can fork the rook and the king. So he went back. Check. 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 Finally.